It's Wednesday, it's Wellness Wednesday, and this morning we're going to focus on the steps that we can all take to become our best selves. Author Brianna Wiest has developed a loyal following by helping people navigate change, self-doubt, and personal growth. Her new book, it's called The Life That's Waiting. It is out today. It's brand new. Brianna, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be back.
So let's talk about some of the themes that you focus on in the book, because one of the themes is this idea that a lot of folks struggle with, like what other people think about them. How can people let that go?
Okay, I'm going to give you a sentence, and I'm going to say it twice so you remember it. The more you like something, the less you need other people to. The more you like something, the less you need other people to. And I think a lot of the time when we're so hyper-focused on what other people think or what we project they're thinking or imagine they're thinking, it's a way of superimposing some idea over a lack of our own self-validation or affirmation. So it's really a call to go inward.
Okay. And when we talk about growth or improving ourselves, it involves some change, but change can be overwhelming. How do we get past the fear of change?
Anything new, no matter how good, is uncomfortable until it's also familiar. And I think that's the most important thing that we all have to remember, and that the valleys in our lives, those pivot periods, they can feel so disorienting and so emptying, but in reality, they are really the opportunities that life gives us to see differently, to choose differently, to walk differently, to move differently, and they're really gifts.
So do we have to just like power through that fear?
I think so, yeah.
You know, I always remember seeing this on a T-shirt, but it said, all who wander are not lost.
Yeah.
And so that you can get lost. You can maybe not know where you're going, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely. And I think it's even the courage to wander and question that often leads us to the biggest breakthroughs and changes in our lives.
How do you accept that, though? How do you leave yourself open for that?
I think sometimes you can, make it part of your daily practice, whether you meditate, whether you read, whether you listen to podcasts, just try to, introduce yourself to new information, new ideas. But I think a lot of the time people get to a point where they don't have a choice but to change. Do you know what I mean? Or life keeps doing what life is always doing, which is changing and evolving and growing, and we have to move with it.
How do we get out of our own way? I think a lot of folks kind of struggle with that.
We have to realize that the presence of self-sabotaging behavior is meeting an unconscious need. Now,
in what way?
I know it's a lot, but often when it feels like we're hitting a wall, it's because the self-sabotaging behavior is in some way serving us. And if we can come into an awareness of how it is serving us, we can find a healthier way to cope and adapt and change.
Okay. So let's say we've done the meditation, we've done the journaling, we've put in the work, but you still feel like the shoe's about to drop. You still feel negative, right? Or something negative is coming your way. How do you get through that?
That's not only really normal, but something I think everyone constantly feels and experiences, kind of this fear of, the more I build, the farther I go, the more at risk or the more vulnerable that I will be. But something I talk about in the book is that the virtue of real success is that the farther you go, the more stable it becomes. Life is not trying to drop another shoe on you. You know what I mean? It's not like a house of cards that's going to fall. It's like a table that you keep adding legs beneath. That's to me, that's the nature of true growth.
Brianna, thank you. The brand new book is out today, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Third hour of today. Right back after this.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.